Go ahead.
All right, welcome. We have made it to Central Michigan University. Today we are at Coordinator Hall for a campus tour. Due to the global pandemic, we cannot bring big group tours, so we actually came to take a tour ourselves. So we're going to go in the hall and greet our tour guide and then go on a tour. I hope you guys enjoy the tour of campus today. Alrighty, well, so we made it inside. We found our tour guide. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the students.
Absolutely. Hello everyone, my name is Brandon McDonald. I'm a senior here at Central Michigan University. I'm studying child development with a minor in math. Some other things I do here around campus, I'm actually the coordinator of our campus ambassador program. So if you want to come and see us in person, we are open for tours. I also run our new student orientation program and serve as student body vice president.
Cool, thank you.
Great, so I'm excited for the tour, so just go ahead and follow us and we'll take a tour of campus. Yeah, then we could just cut like some of the walking and stuff out for sure. PG. Get it on, PG.
Okay.
All right. So this hall over here is Ronan Hall. That's home to our Office of Study Abroad. So at C.M.U. we have over 120 study abroad programs you can choose from, all fitting within all of our different academic majors here, going to over 40 different countries. We really make sure that you work with academic advisors when considering studying abroad, so that when you go abroad, you are there and learning, it's going to come right back to C.M.U. and all those credits will apply. We want you to go somewhere, learn something that's going to apply to your degree, so that when you study abroad, you're not getting set back any farther in time. We want to advance your studies when you study abroad, so highly recommend those programs. They are all over the world. We have huge connections, pretty much every continent but Antarctica, so I highly encourage studying abroad for all of our students.
I did have a question. Are freshman students eligible for study abroad programs?
Absolutely. So you can go for even just week-long studying abroad. We have them over the summer. We have entire semesters, even entire years. My roommate actually went right after his freshman year and did 4 different countries in Europe. I have another friend that's part of the honors program with me that hit every country in Europe over the summer to learn language credits. That he brought over a semester's worth of credit back here to C.M.U. after one summer abroad. So absolutely.
For sure. Well, thanks for that. I did have a question about maybe the cost. Is it an additional cost to study abroad?
So it depends upon if you're part of a scholarship program, but there are a lot of different things in our Office of Study Abroad to help make that affordable for our students.
For sure. So
some of your scholarships can apply to your study abroad. We also give out awards based on academic departments. So if you're part of like the history department, they usually offer out money every year to send their students to go somewhere and study history in a different country.
That's great. So we have financial aid to assist in study abroad, so that's a great opportunity. When I was in college, I didn't take advantage of that, and that's something that still, I'm dealing with. But I definitely recommend our students to see the world and, get credit and, enjoy it. For
Absolutely.
Sure. All right, off to the next spot.
This place.
Perfect. Go ahead.
All right. So this next building is Grand Hall. This is home to our College of Business Administration. So if you're ever interested in business, this is the place you are going to be. Additionally, this is our most historic building on campus. It is one of the original buildings. However, when you walk inside, it's not going to look like that. So let's take a look at our atrium.
Wow.
Very nice.
So while still being our most historic building on campus, we did do a $10 million renovation to this building to include study spaces in this atrium that you can see here. A lot of different things went into this building, a lot of thoughts from students. We really care about what the students' needs are in this building, so we built a lot of collaborative study spaces. This area specifically for business students is used for a lot of career fairs as well. We bring in employers from all over the country, but especially all over the state for our students to meet with, hand out resumes, get some of that practice and experience connecting with people, because we know connection is so important to us here at C.M.U.
For sure. I mean, it's great that the big reason people come to college is to get a job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get a job. So, nice space.
So over here is our entrepreneurship side of our Grand Hall. So right here, this area here is a lot for all of our students to use. We have great study areas, great different rooms for them to use. One big highlight of this area is also home to our new venture competition. So if you've seen the show Shark Tank, we have our own version of that here at C.M.U, where winners of this actually earn money to put their business practice into effect. And this is not just for our business students. The best teams in this competition are combinations of students from all over campus. They need graphic designers, marketing materials, they need those business majors, engineers have joined it to help make prototypes of products. It really is for all our students here at C.M.U. a great way to get some practical skills, and employers love this competition. They come here to C.M.U. to see our students perform and do well in this, so highly recommend taking advantage of that if you do choose to come to C.M.U.
For sure, definitely something for entrepreneurs. You know, everybody has an entrepreneur in them, so that's a great opportunity to get a business off the floor. So.
Yeah. If you walk this way, there's a couple more pictures of it.
Just talk to her about the deans or meetings and the associate dean won't be.
These are all previous winners. The one different things here, so technology ventures, overall ventures, social ones. There's a ton of different categories students can win and earn these in. As you can see, they're all winning actual money to put these businesses into practice.
Wow, that's great.
Additionally, a big thing at C.M.U. is we have a lot of different dining options for our students. So most halls have something in them. So if you look right over there, that's Witch that we have for our students. It's a great way to get some food here on campus that's not always going to be a part of your dining hall. Your meal plan does not work in there, but we do have this thing called Flex Dollars, where you get kind of free money from the university to spend in areas like that. Additionally, if you walk a couple steps farther, right here is our Business Center for Student Services. All of our academic colleges have a Center for Student Services. The way academic advising is formed here at C.M.U. is we are very college specific. So your advisors are going to know that content area the very best when they're advising you. We don't make general advisors for just everything. Those advisors know your academic area, so they are going to make the best plan for you to make sure you're graduating on your own time when you want to go.
For sure. That's ideal. Or else it'd be a lot to learn.
Yes.
Okay, so
Entrepreneurship, right there.
A lot of our different majors and minors are up there. This specific college has 17 different majors, 16 different minors. A lot of students have to combine them.
17 different majors.
All right, so this is something really cool as well. This is our Voigtman Financial Lab. As you can see, we have a lot of different technology in there. It is the same technology you'll be using if you're working on Wall Street in New York. So they do a lot of different projects in here. Specific classes use it, but it is one of our highly regarded spaces for our students. They have full Bloomberg terminals here for students to use. In fact, they often do a project called their core project as a business student, in which they're required to use this to map out and plan according to like they would on Wall Street. So you're getting that real hands-on experience that you would in the real world right here at C.M.U. in our business college.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. Yep. Stocks are going up.
And here. On to the next goal.
But
All right. So this is the seal here at C.M.U. This is our most iconic landmark on campus. Those three Latin words that you see stand for wisdom, virtue, and friendship, which are three ideals that we have here at C.M.U. that we incorporate into every single one of our majors and programs here. All of our faculty abide by it. All of our administrators love it as well. So if you ever stop at C.M.U., this is a guarantee. You need to get a photo here. This is the place to be. You have people lined up here for graduation all the time, and it's a great first pick to get on your orientation day as well. All right, so this is our College of Health Professions. So if you walk right into this building, this section here that we're going to walk into is actually completed just over a year ago. All right. So in this section of the building, we have a lot of different things focused on having those hands-on portions to it. So a lot of physical therapy labs, things like that. So if you want to, you can kind of peek through some windows here as well to see some of those things. There's a lot of great things in this building to really show our students. A lot of great things in this building show our students more of that hands-on practical aspect of being in the College of Health Professionals. Tons of great study areas over here. We'll walk around this way and show you a little bit more about it.
All the future nurses and doctors should spend some time in here.
right.
A lot of time.
good.
A ton of different programs in here. Even if you're not part of this, there are some classes you can take in this college. My favorite one that I took actually was our anatomy lab. We have a very unique lab where we actually use cadavers in our cadaver lab. So it is so cool for students to see, be able to use that technology to actually look at a human person and see pretty much every aspect of them. So it was a great course. Around this way.
It's a little scary. Thank you, Doug.
So a complete state-of-the-art facility, one of the big highlights of this one as well is having specific clinics for our students to work in. So at the end of this hall we have our Carl Center, which is a speech and audiology clinic. So anyone that may be interested in like communication sciences and disorders, being a speech pathologist, things like that, working in schools, a ton of different spaces for that down there. Additionally, down this hallway over here, we have our Motion Analysis Center. So one of the research projects I actually worked on here at Central was taking people and having them put those little white dots across their arms, and we could actually test their motion. And as they're moving, I was able to test to see at which point if they're hammering something, is a bone or muscle going to break? And I was able to start that as soon as my freshman year. So research is very heavy here at C.M.U. We encourage all our students to do it. Not necessarily a requirement at all, but a great opportunity for students to get authored and published right away as soon as their freshman year. So just like in the College of Business, when I was talking about those specific advising centers, this entire one right here is for our College of Health Professions.
Multiple doors, multiple advisors, no long waits.
Uh-oh. Another thing, like I mentioned, having those dining options in every building. Right here, that we have a cute little coffee shop that serves Starbucks for our students. A lot of great other options as well. Tons of study spaces and outdoor seating for students. Sometimes professors may feel like they want to have class outside in the day, and they can definitely do that in a lot of our different outdoor spaces as well.
I know that Starbucks is packed during the days.
Absolutely.
All these buildings seem like they're newer.
Yeah,
I've been to other universities that you can tell that they were older.
Yes. Health Professions for sure is one of our newest ones that's been constructed, for sure. The kind of still. Usually those lights are on in the classrooms if you want to record that too. Everything's keycard access, so like, not a health profession student can't get it done.
So like normally, what's the professor-student ratio?
Yeah, so our faculty-student ratio is about 20-to-1 pretty much all across campus. So we keep it very small intentionally. We really value that student-to-faculty connection. So I mean, most of my faculty members were very willing to write me letters of recommendation for grad school. They helped me find additional employment opportunities across campus. They were really great about helping me really decide what I wanted to go into and kind of navigate all of that because I built those one-on-one connections with them with the smaller class sizes.
That's key. A lot of students don't have people to guide them. A lot of students we work with, parents didn't go to college, so we have to put our trust in people who've been there before. And these advisors are the ones that help guide us to pick the major and get into the field that we want. So that's great. Nice view, nice lighting.
Head outside this way and on to the next building. So on our walk here, I want to point out a couple more things as well. If you look over there, that's Faust Hall. So that is home to our C.M.U. medical services as well as our counseling center. So as a C.M.U. student, all of our students receive free counseling if they choose to, as well as we have a general clinic over there for any of your health appointments and needs. Additionally, as we're walking this way, we're walking past our College of Health Professions still, and in that college we do have our School of Medicine. So we do have a graduate program for medicine here. One unique feature about it is we offer an early assurance medical school admittance program. So they take a certain number of students every year, and they pre-admit them to the medical school, given that they are going to complete the proper amount of prerequisite courses and have an appropriate GPA to get them into our medical school. They work with those students their entire 4 years, help prep them and get ready, and they're already early assured to be accepted into our medical school. And then if you look over that way, that is Finch Field House, our main area for our outdoor and recreation students. So in that building, we do have an entire rock wall. Very fun to do on the weekends if you wanted to. But additionally, that's where they have a lot of those more hands-on things for outdoor and recreation, some more of those event management majors. All right, so right now we're standing in the Park Library. We're in Little Atrium Park before it, because I did want to point out this to everyone. So this right here is one of our 24-hour access study rooms. So you have 24 access to that with your C.M.U. ID card, full printing, all the programs that any major on campus could possibly need, all in there for students. conveniently located right across the street from a coffee shop. So we have another coffee shop right here for our students to use, but it's a great tool because sometimes you do end up doing homework at 4 in the morning. It just happens sometimes, but it's a great resource for our students to use and have all the technology that they need at any time of day. So we can head this way into the main portion of our library. Hallways are usually decorated with a lot of different student research and things as well. So for example, right here, this is Carly's. She's one of my friends actually. She did a lot of research for her senior capstone as part of her child development program. And then we'll do a quick walkthrough so you can see up into the library. I'll talk a little bit more about that when we exit it. If you want to, you can look up and see we have our upper 3 floors all devoted to all of our student and academic success. All right, so in this library we have a lot of different areas for our students to do things. We have a specific quiet study space, a lot of cool tools in here for students to use for their academic success, several different tutoring services such as our Math Assistance Center and our Writing Skills Center. Great things for students to use, and it's all free for them as C.M.U. students. Speaking of more tutoring services, as a C.M.U. student, we give all of our students 3 free hours of one-on-one tutoring per week in pretty much any subject area you can think of. So if math is not your strong suit, you can get that one-on-one tutor that will schedule with you with one other person who's generally a math major, or maybe they're a grad student even in math, and make sure that you're getting that one-on-one help that you need to make sure you're doing successful here at C.M.U.
That is essential right there. Free tutoring in any subject, 3 hours a week. Oh my gosh, I would have died.
So up next, we're going to walk into our music building, but I do want to point out something as well. So if you look up at those windows, they are designed to look like piano keys. Here at C.M.U., we theme pretty much every academic building here based upon what's inside of it. So we're going to head into our music building so you can see the piano keys, and there's other music-inspired elements on the inside as well. In our main school of music here, anything and everything music you can think of is in here, including music education, all of our bands, all of our choirs. Something important to note as well is that no matter what you're studying here at C.M.U., you can be a part of those bands, choirs, any musicals, any theater performances you want to. They're all audition-based. A cappella groups, all of it. So if you want to be able to do that and continue that from high school, you have that opportunity to do that here, regardless of your academic major. The areas right now that you're seeing are kind of cleared out at the moment for COVID, but that's because our winter color guard team has been practicing in here. So they use this space frequently for a lot of different things. Up above us, there are numerous specific studio rooms for all of our students, specific vocal ones for separate instruments, a lot of different areas for students to practice their craft. Additionally, there's 2 different concert halls in this building. Our largest one is going to be the Staples Family Concert Hall right here, where a lot of these performances happen throughout the year. Most of them free for our students to attend, so you can always go and see your friends, do a lot of different concerts, great performances, a great way to be involved with other students on campus. So continuing on our tour, we're walking through Moore Hall right now. One specific thing I want to mention about this hall is this is where our Kiva is. So the Kiva is a 360-degree performing arts space. Whether it's a keynote speaker or music ensemble, the audience sits 360 degrees around whoever is presenting. It's definitely unique to do a presentation there. I've gone and seen a couple where they're turning to talk to the entire audience, or there's actual different stage classes that happen in there. A lot of improv things happen in there as well. One of my favorite things I've seen happening in there is one of our stage fighting classes usually takes place in there. So they're in there practicing how to perform in an acting manner, how to do those fight scenes and things like that. So a very cool, unique space with a lot of different uses. Cool. Exactly. All right, so this is our engineering technology building, home to all of our different engineering programs here at C.M.U. If you walk this way, we have a lot of things to see in here. We have several different clubs on campus specifically for our engineering majors, including our Baja and Formula One, which is what you'll kind of see right up here. So these are cars that our students build from the bottom up as part of a lot of different courses that they're in, either a senior design project, things like that. Additionally, like I mentioned before, we'd like to incorporate as many majors as possible in things here at C.M.U. So not only are just the engineering students doing this, but they bring in marketing majors to help market things, they communication people to help make communication materials, and they travel all across the country competing with these cars. Again, talking about that specific advising we have here at C.M.U, because we really do care about your success. Your advisors for your college are right here in the academic building where you'll be studying. We also, specifically in this area, really value our in-person and our hands-on technologies. So if you see right here, this front area that you can see with all of the robotic arms is part of our robotics lab course. In the back, we actually have classroom seats. That way you are getting that classroom instruction, but you're also getting all of that hands-on for pretty much every class that we have in this area. So all of our engineering students are knowing exactly how they're doing, how they're working with this equipment before they leave here.
Michigan being a huge manufacturing state, it's key to get students that know how to work those robots, and absolutely, that's a great program to get into there.
So one of the most unique things about our engineering programs is that we have a senior design project that students have to do in order to graduate. So we put together groups of engineers. We usually try to do different types, so mechanical, computer, electrical, and environmental, and kind of mix them together. And they are all contracted by an outside provider. So these are some examples of ones that we've done here. Generally, these providers come in and they're like, we need a specific product for something. So for example, this one was for a residence hall room loft, and our students helped design and build that and then actually market them. My favorite example is when I was here as a freshman, there was a group that was doing that, and they were contracted by Ford. Ford loved what they did so much, they bought it right off of them, used their patent, and then hired all 4 of them right in engineering positions. So a lot of great opportunity connections to build as well from that senior project.
Graduate and you get a job.
Yes.
Good job.
A ton of different research labs and things in here as well. Through that wall, we have a wind tunnel for product testing for our students to use. A ton of different workspaces for metals, for woods, for machine shops, things like that. This building has pretty much everything our students need to work on any type of construction project they can imagine. We'll head on to our next building. All right, so we're staying in one of our residence hall complexes here at C.M.U. We have 4 different complexes across campus that have different residence halls in them. The residence halls in them are specific for different types of students. Some of them have different room styles, but we're going to look at the most popular one for over 50% of our incoming freshmen are going to live in this style of residence hall. Another important feature that we have in our residence halls is actually going to be your C.M.U. ID card. They are specific by which community that you live in. So if you live in this East community, your ID is the only one that will work on these exterior doors to get you in here for you, as well as they're further specific by your residence hall. So you have to be living, for example, here in Wold Hall in order to be using your ID card to get down to these halls. Additionally, in all of our complexes, there is a dining facility inside each one, so you do not have to go outside to see or to get food or anything like that. Really convenient in the winter, but you are free to use your meal plan at any of the dining facilities all across campus. So if you have friends on North Campus, feel free to go and eat with them. You're not limited by where you live. But we can go ahead and take a walk in and we'll go look at the hall.
Pretty nice size.
So how many students will actually live in a
Yep,
room
so
like this?
in this style, we usually have 4 students, so 2 in each bedroom here. With COVID, we do make some alterations to it, but that is all residence life-based. So generally it is 4 students, 2 in each bedroom. If you look in this bedroom over here, that wooden furniture you see there is what comes standard with our room. So every resident gets that bed frame. They always all get a desk and a chair. And those bed frames can be raised and lowered, as you can see in there as well. In this room over here, we have our bed loft option. So this is an option that C.M.U. has for students that you can choose to rent for the academic year. We don't allow people to make or bring their own lofts for safety reasons, so you can have this loft if you want to for some extra space. In this model as well, every bedroom comes with one of these dressers that is split by the 2 roommates. Additionally, as far as roommates go, you can choose your own roommates at CMU. It's like a 95% match as long as you add them and they add you back on the housing portal. The only times those don't work is if you're a part of like a living learning community. So for example, we're in Waltz Hall right now, which is our science and engineering residential college. So most of the students here are science and engineering majors. They do a lot of specific programming for their academic area. They have the same intro classes together. So it's a great way to meet other like-minded people as you, but you can't really pull in students from across campus that don't fit within that academic area. We do have academic areas for all of our majors, and we do have a ton of general housing as well for students. So that's only if your student is interested in it. You're not required to live by your academic area. Nice. And if you walk out here as well, this is one of our bathrooms. We have no community bathrooms anywhere on campus. They're all suite style like this. So this bathroom is only for the students living in this room. Cool. Additionally, at CMU, laundry is always included, so there's no quarters, there's no swiping a card, and laundry is generally either going to be by floor or one large one in the lower level of the residence hall, so it's always free for students to do. There's a great app that tells you when it's done and sends you a little text alert, so it's good to go, so you can just switch it over. Additionally, there are kitchenettes on every floor for residents to use. You don't have to bring pots and pans. We have those all at the front desk for our students. They can go in and check those out, so if you actually want to cook something, you can do that as well here.
Wow. 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 No. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Alright, so we're now standing in our College of Education and Human Services. This is the Education and Human Services building. Another fun fact for you, you can see the black slate on the floors, on the walls, and outside the building. That's because we were traditionally a teacher's college, so that was our first thing here, so we know education really well and wanted to pay homage to traditional teachers' chalkboards. So they were all on black slate, so that's why we incorporated it into our building. So being a teacher's college, we have a lot of different things in here that are specific to education and really the growth and development of all of our human services. So if you walk this way a little bit, we have a couple things in here I'll point out to you. The first is going to be right here, our Center for Excellence in STEM Education. The quickest and fastest way we can get our students that hands-on opportunity to work with students. So in here we have our makerspace, a lot of cool things in here, all the way to the back there's a lot of stuff. Actually, we can go and take a look. So in here we do a lot of different programming. There's like summer programs that have been a part of in here, a ton of different hands-on things for our students to work generally with elementary and middle school age students that we bring into campus. We have 3D printers, we have a whole bunch of things. Over here, there's a ton of different things here in our makerspace that students get to use. Kind of reopening that STEM and creativity aspect of being a part of an education program. So a great way to be hands-on directly with students.
Where do the students come from?
So a lot of them are from just the surrounding community, especially when we do those summer camps. With that surrounding community, a lot of the students are very involved with everything as well.
It's good that Central works with the local community.
That's great.
So that's where.
So another something cool if you want to like look over at that really quick.
So
So
they
you
all
can tell
changed quite a bit.
that that looks exactly like what a high school science or biology, like a chemistry classroom looks like. That's because here at CMU, we are teaching our students how to teach and how to be teachers. So we want you in the environment you're going to be in when you're actually teaching. So in that class, we don't actually teach science, we teach you how to teach science. We make sure you're ready to learn and know what happens in that setting, so you kind of get used to being in that field. If we walk this way a little bit more, show you a couple other things. This building was our first LEED certified building on campus, so it's a very high standard for sustainability here at CMU. Like our roof is completely covered in plants in this building. There's a lot of specific drainage things. We're one of the most sustainable buildings on campus as well. Take a look over there. We have another one of our eating facilities on campus. That's Einstein's Bagels. Great to pick up in the middle of the day on your way to class. I can't tell you how many times I went and got a bagel and then went upstairs to class. It happens a lot. All right, and we can take a look over here and see if there's a class. This is French Auditorium. This is our largest auditorium on campus, and this is it. This is as big as it gets for our class sizes. I can promise you I have never seen this classroom filled, and if there are students in here, it's maybe the first 4 or 5 rows. There's not that many people sit next to each other sometimes. But in this class, it is kept pretty small. So specifically in our College of Education and Human Services, we have our student to faculty class size is about 30 students. So we keep that fairly low. I've never had any more than 22 in like one of my classes. Again, keeping that class size low. Most of our classes that have that larger number are going to be the general biology or general chemistry classes that a lot of students have to take. And those are only going to be 60 to 80 students, if that. And as soon as we start hitting those higher numbers, we add teaching assistants and additional help for those students so they have someone to connect to about the information. We want you to feel supported and to have those connections while you're here and learning from us.
Great.
So let's go ahead and back out here. Additionally, something unique about this building is we have our Child Development and Learning Lab here. So it's a great facility that hosts 72 3- and 4-year-olds. That includes observation booths for our students to go in and view. So it's used all across campus for different programs, for different types of research. I use it specifically in my program to go and observe students. It's amazing what you can learn from a bunch of 3- and 4-year-olds, especially listening in on their conversations, seeing how they act and interact with each other. It's a great tool for our educators and for like child development, human services majors to look at and observe from. You can learn a lot. One of my favorite memories from it actually is I was observing a student, and of course it happened to be my student that day that decides to come up to the one-way mirror and lick the mirror all over it. And it was kind of gross, but you just kind of mark it on your sheet and you keep going and you learn from it, and it's just a great experience that we have here in this college. Our last stop out here, if you want to look up, there's a ton of different study spaces for all of our students in here. A ton of different areas for students to be involved with each other, as well as with different programs on campus. Out here is a cool little study space for all of our students. And then these things out here are actually from our Child Development and Learning Lab, where they do a lot of different artwork projects where we like to display them for the students, so they're usually out here everywhere for us by our students. And then this is kind of cool over here as well. So being human services, this college also impacts really anything and everything that's going to touch and impact human lives. This includes fashion merchandising and design, interior design, a lot of our recreation programs, as well as looking at anything that's going to really impact the way a human can act, behave, from what they wear, from what they're doing, all that type of stuff. So this was interior design project that we had just recently done here. They really think intentionally about what's in the space and how to design that space specifically for people. One of the best projects I've seen done like this was actually a combination between a special education interior design major. They really thought about what those students who need that special care need in their spaces. So they really helped plan those out, and that's something our college does and helps provide our students with those tools to be able to do that.
Sounds like you guys do a lot of collaboration within colleges.
Absolutely. So most colleges on campus have some form of communication with each other to make sure that they're talking, communicating, and bringing in all of their students. I can promise you there's not a program that happens on this campus that not every college is somehow involved with to make sure it's successful for all of our students and for the community that we're around.
It's nice to hear.
And then we'll head over to our next building. All right, so this is our biosciences building, part of our College of Science and Engineering, focused on anything and everything that has to do with like a living thing here on campus, and focused on a lot of student research. So one of my favorite places to study is actually right here at this plant wall. They are all live plants. It's a great aesthetic to study by, and it's really cool, especially in the winter in here, to make sure the plants don't die. They come to this place full of heat. It's literally the most comfortable feeling ever. These couches over here, you may fall asleep in them. It just happens sometimes to see students napping because it's so warm, but it is a great place to study and hang out as well. This room right here next to us, all of these wall panels that you're seeing actually open up, and there's a kind of a flow area between there and up here from a lot of our student research exhibitions. So again, like I was talking about how we theme all of our buildings, of course this one being bioscience is going to have the living plant walls, a lot of different natural elements incorporated to it as well. If you look up, those upper 3 floors are all devoted to student and faculty research. So I have friends that are up there doing research, one's doing some cancer research on things, other ones are doing specific things with microbes and biology. A lot of different student research is effectively done in this area as well. If you look over on this side, it looks a little different right now due to COVID because of how it's set up, but this is one of our active learning classrooms. It's actually the largest one that we have on campus. So active learning is just a different form of class you can take here at C.M.U. You're not required to, but it is an option. I would kind of describe it as a flipped version of learning. So you are not going to receive a lecture in the class. You're actually going to maybe view that lecture on your own and then come into class to do some type of hands-on guided activity by your instructor. My best example of that is I took Calc 2 in that way. And that's a very interesting class to take, active learning, but I was never given an equation or a method of how to solve that problem. It was if I was discovering calculus for the first time myself, which is really great for some students. And my professor's biggest reasoning was that no real world problem is going to fit into one equation and spit out the right answer for you. So we need to learn how to adapt and create our own equations and understand really what makes them work. So it was a great learning experience for me. I learned a lot out of that class. I'll be able to apply that to my future classes as well. Additionally, sticking with our theme, we have fish tanks in here. All native Michigan species that are in these fish tanks are cared for by a lot of different students here on campus, but they are used for research as well. We can observe them. Sometimes they like to follow your finger if you like walk across the glass. But it is another form of keeping that tradition that we theme all of our buildings based upon what's in them by having these fish tanks here for our students. Nice. And we will head over to our next building. All right, so this area of campus we call our academic part. So at C.M.U, you do have undergraduate requirements that you have to complete, so kind of some more of the general education to kind of make sure you're well-rounded and have that big foundation to go on to your other classes. This area right here is kind of in the center of where all those classes are. So this building right here is our Dow Science Complex, so all the physics and chemistry classes as well as all of their labs. The one over here is going to be our Pierce Hall, so the bottom two floors are all focused on math for our students. Third floor is foreign language and global studies, and that fourth floor is our computer science. So over behind you as well is ANSPA, that's our College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences. So history, some of the history courses, our English programs over there, political science, things like that. And then the last one is actually behind you. There's kind of a tree in your way there, but there's our greenhouse in Brooks Hall. Step this way, you can probably see it, but Brooks Hall is what we call our ology building. So geology, biology, meteorology, astrology, all those types of things are in that building. So between these four buildings is where you're going to have a majority of that time with those undergraduate requirements. So it's fairly easy to stack your classes back to back. We want you to get through your classes in the day. You can have from the corner of this building to the next one and get there right between class times if you want them back to back. Super convenient for all of our students. You can be done by 2 o'clock and you're ready to go for them the rest of the day. Go ahead. No.
How much time in between classes do you guys have?
So it depends upon the length of your class and how many days you have it. Generally, it's about 10 to 15 minutes between each class.
So yeah,
plenty of time to stop by one of our markets and pick up a snack or some food and things like that, because those are all over campus in our buildings as well. And one other thing I want to point out as well is this is one of our blue light phones that we have here on campus. So we have over 30 of those all across campus. They are an emergency phone for our students, so their primary purpose is to get someone to your location. So if you press that button, one of our C.M.U police officers will be here within 60 to 90 seconds. And they do operate as a phone, so you can talk through it if you want to, but it's not required that you're always talking through it. The primary purpose, again, is to get someone to you to help you with anything you may need.
Cool. It's nice to have.
So another great thing that we do here at C.M.U is we have our Leadership Safari and Impact programs. Those are ran out of our Leadership Institute here on campus. Great way for students to get on campus early, get acclimated to where things are on campus, meet some new friends, as well as learn a lot through leadership programming such as confidence building, and learn a little bit more about the resources that we offer here.
So in this program, it happens before they come to campus, right?
Before they start classes in the fall, so you get to move in a little bit earlier as an incoming freshman and get to experience all of this before you actually have to start going to class and learning and worrying about homework.
Yeah, so you get to experience the campus, learn about a lot of resources, and meet a lot of people before you even step and foot in class. So that's a great program, and I highly recommend it.
All right. So back in Ronan Hall over here, there's another key resource I wanted to point out to everyone. So actually back through here, we have a couple different things, but one of the big ones is going to actually be our Career Development Center. It's a great place for students to get any help they may need career-wise on campus. So we have things such as resume, label career resume, your cover letters. They'll actually do mock interviews with you. Another great thing about them is that they are here for life. So once you're a C.M.U student and you use them, you have them as soon as you graduate. You can come back 30 years from now if you wanted to, and they will still review that resume and cover letter for you to make sure you're going to do great at that next interview for that next job that you're looking for.
Great resource. Great resource.